It all started one rainy afternoon when I sat scrolling through my phone, aimlessly flicking through videos promising easy weight loss and effortless health hacks. That's when one video caught my eye. Fast food has changed. Is it actually healthy now? The influencer in the video gushed about new, clean menus at major fast food chains, grilled chicken sandwiches, protein bowls, salads that actually looked edible. She swore she lost weight just by swapping greasy burgers for these healthier fast food options. I wasn't looking to lose weight exactly, but I was feeling off lately. Sluggish, bloated, headachy most days by 3 p.m. and honestly, cooking after a long shift at work felt like torture. So on a whim, I decided, what if I ate only healthy fast food for 30 days, no fries, no cheeseburgers dripping with grease, only the so-called better options, grilled meats, salads, wraps, smoothies. I set some ground rules, only items advertised as healthy, low-calorie, or clean. No deep-fried anything. I had to eat 3 meals a day, no skipping. Drink only water, black coffee, or unsweetened tea. Simple enough, right? I figured I'd probably lose a few pounds, have more energy, maybe even feel amazing by the end of the month. Day 1 felt exciting. I zipped through the drive-thru of a popular chain and ordered a grilled chicken salad with vinaigrette on the side. It looked pretty good, actually. I posted a picture on Instagram. Day 1 of 30. Let's do this. I even went for a walk after dinner, feeling proud of myself, but by day 3, cracks started to show. First, the sodium. I noticed I was incredibly thirsty all the time, even though I was guzzling water like crazy. My fingers looked a little swollen too, and my jeans were tighter, not looser. Then came the headaches, not the dull, annoying kind. The pounding behind the eyes, I can't think straight kind. I blamed caffeine withdrawal at first, even though I was still drinking black coffee. Maybe it was just my body adjusting? I told myself to push through. By day 7, I woke up with my skin itching. My arms, my legs, even my scalp. It wasn't red or blotchy, just an intense, low-grade itch that made me squirm in my seat all day at work. And the bloating? Oh God, the bloating. By the end of the first week, I looked 5 months pregnant. My stomach was tight and uncomfortable, and no amount of walking, water, or gut health smoothies seemed to help. Still, I told myself, it's too early to quit. This is part of the detox, right? On day 10, something happened that made me realize this wasn't just a weird adjustment phase. I was at a work meeting, sitting in a crowded conference room, when out of nowhere, my heart started racing. Not the kind of racing you get after a workout or when you're nervous. It was wild, chaotic. I could feel it thumping in my chest, in my neck, even in my ears. I tried to take slow breaths. I grabbed my water bottle and sipped, but it wouldn't slow down. My coworker, seeing my pale face, whispered, "Are you okay?" I wasn't. I stumbled out of the meeting and locked myself in the bathroom. I sat on the floor, my back against the cold tile, trying not to panic. I pulled out my phone and Googled fast food heart palpitations. What I found scared me more than I can even explain. Sitting on the cold bathroom floor, I scrolled through article after article. Words like electrolyte imbalance, excessive sodium intake, and processed food heart stress jumped off the screen. One article said that even so-called healthy fast food items could pack as much sodium as 5 bags of chips. Another warned about hidden preservatives that could trigger allergic-like reactions, itching, bloating, rapid heartbeat. I stared at my phone, my heart still hammering against my ribs like it wanted out. How could I have been so stupid? I thought I was eating healthy. Wasn't grilled chicken supposed to be good for you? Weren't kale salads and wraps supposed to be better than burgers and fries? I splashed cold water on my face, took deep breaths, and somehow made it through the rest of the workday without fainting. That night, I made myself a promise. I'm going to be smarter about this. I would choose options labeled low sodium. I would balance my meals better. Maybe I could salvage this experiment after all. Day 11. I switched things up, choosing a brown rice bowl with grilled steak and extra vegetables. No cheese, no creamy dressing. It actually tasted pretty good. For the first time in days, I didn't feel immediately bloated after eating. I even felt kind of energized for about an hour. Then came the crash. I was at home, trying to fold laundry when my whole body felt like someone had unplugged me. I sat down on the floor, dizzy. My hands trembling slightly. It was a fatigue I couldn't push through, no matter how much coffee or water I drank. It was bone deep. Day 13, the brain fog set in. At work, I struggled to string coherent sentences together. Simple tasks, like replying to an email, felt like climbing a mountain. I forgot where I parked my car twice in 1 week. One morning, I found the milk in the pantry and the cereal in the fridge. It was like my brain was glitching. I started tracking my meals more carefully, entering every ingredient into a health app. The results stunned me. Even the so-called healthy meals were loaded with things I hadn't considered. Added sugars hidden in light dressings and sauces, synthetic fiber additives that messed with digestion, meat that had been marinated in sodium phosphate solutions to stay juicy. No wonder my body was rebelling. I wasn't fueling it with real food. I was fueling it with lab experiments dressed up in kale and quinoa. Day 15. The tipping point. I woke up to a searing pain under my ribs on the right side. It wasn't stabbing, exactly. More like a deep, angry throb. At first, I thought maybe I had just slept weird. But by noon, the pain hadn't faded. I made an appointment with a walk-in clinic. The doctor, a young woman with kind eyes, listened carefully as I explained everything: the experiment, the symptoms, the pain. She asked questions about my diet, my hydration, my stress levels. She poked and prodded gently around my abdomen, frowning slightly. "Your liver's in that area," she said casually, jotting notes into my file. "It could be nothing. Or it could be that your liver's working overtime trying to filter all the preservatives and chemicals you're consuming." Liver? I hadn't even thought about my liver. Wasn't liver damage something that happened to heavy drinkers or people who abused medications, not people like me, just trying to be healthy? She ordered some blood work, liver enzymes, electrolytes, a full panel. "Just to be safe," she said. As I left the clinic, a cold knot of fear twisted in my gut. I didn't say it out loud, but deep down, I knew something was seriously wrong, and I still had half the experiment left to go. Waiting for the blood test results was pure agony. The doctor said it would take about 48 hours, but those 2 days dragged on like weeks. Every little twinge in my body felt like a siren going off. Was that my liver giving out? Was my heart going to start racing again? Was I dying? At night, I lay awake in bed, staring at the ceiling, my mind replaying every healthy fast food order I'd devoured over the past 2 weeks. The smoothie bowls topped with sugary granola, the grilled chicken sandwiches on whole grain buns that somehow still tasted like candy, the power wraps that promised protein but delivered a cocktail of additives instead. I had trusted the marketing, trusted the smiling ads with fit, glowing people biting into colorful salads, trusted the influencers flashing their abs and promising you can be healthy and eat fast food too. By the time the clinic finally called, I was practically vibrating with anxiety. The nurse spoke gently, but there was no sugarcoating it. "Your liver enzymes are elevated. It's not extreme, but it's concerning, especially given how young and otherwise healthy you are." She paused, then added, "Your electrolyte levels are also a little off, high sodium, low potassium. That can affect your heart rhythm, which may explain the palpitations." I sat on my couch, the phone pressed against my ear, feeling like I was sinking into the floor. The liver, the heart, the very systems that kept me alive were waving giant red flags, all because I thought I was making better choices. The nurse advised me to stop the fast food experiment immediately and go back to whole, minimally processed foods. "Give your body a break," she said kindly. "Real food. Home cooked when you can. Lots of water, fruits, vegetables. Your body knows how to heal, but you have to give it the right tools." I hung up and just sat there, stunned. I thought back to the start of this journey, how excited I'd been, how proud I felt holding up my neat little grilled chicken salads and protein bowls. Now, halfway through, my body was breaking down. But part of me didn't want to quit. Quitting felt like failure, like admitting that all those companies and commercials had lied to me, and worse, that I believed them. So I made a decision. I wouldn't quit the experiment, but I would change the rules. For the remaining 15 days, I would still eat fast food, but I would bring a critical eye to everything I ordered. I would look past the marketing. I would choose only the most minimally processed options: basic grilled chicken, plain side salads, black coffee, water. No sauces, no dressings, no smoothies, No health wraps. If it had more than 5 ingredients, I wasn't eating it. Period. Day 16. My first clean fast food meal. A plain grilled chicken breast, a basic side salad with no dressing, and water. It tasted bland. No salt bomb, no hidden sugar rush, just food. But you know what? That night, for the first time in over a week, I didn't feel bloated. My heart stayed calm. I slept without waking up gasping for air. Day 18. The itching that had tormented me for days started to ease. My skin didn't feel like it was crawling anymore. I even caught myself smiling in the mirror. A small, tired smile, but a real one. Day 21: 3 weeks and I had started craving strange things. Like plain cucumbers, steamed broccoli, unsalted nuts. My body, it seemed, was begging for real nutrition. Not protein isolates. Not chemical fiber powders. Real food. I wondered, if this was happening to me, someone trying their best to choose healthy options, what was happening to the millions of people eating this stuff without a second thought? What about the parents handing their kids healthy kids meals, thinking they were doing the right thing? What about the college students living on protein bowls and smoothies because they thought they were avoiding the junk? The problem wasn't just the bad food anymore. It was the lies, the illusion, the betrayal, and the scariest part. Most people would never connect the dots between their slow, creeping symptoms and the healthy food they trusted. By day 25, my body was starting to feel different. Not perfect, not fully healed, but calmer, more stable. Like it had been fighting a silent war for weeks and was finally winning a few battles. The heart palpitations that once terrified me had mostly disappeared. The constant thirst and bloating had lessened too, though some mornings I still woke up feeling puffy. The brain fog was lifting, little by little. I could focus at work again, actually remember why I walked into a room. But mentally, emotionally, I was still shaken. Every day, I walked into fast food restaurants and watched families, teenagers, busy professionals, all placing their orders with cheerful smiles, believing they were making healthy choices. Grilled chicken power bowl, please. Low-fat turkey wrap and a green smoothie. Veggie burger with a whole wheat bun. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't my fault either. We were all caught in the same trap. The trap of clever marketing, cherry-picked statistics, bright labels screaming, made with real veggies, and only 400 calories. But calories weren't the enemy. Ingredients were. The processing, the additives, the hidden sugars and lab-made fibers and sodium bombs disguised as health food. I thought about all the little symptoms I'd ignored over the years, before this experiment even started. The mid-afternoon crashes I blamed on being busy. The weird skin flare-ups I blamed on seasonal allergies. The bloating I blamed on getting older. Was it possible that this food, this modern, ultra-processed health food, had been quietly wrecking me for longer than I realized? It scared me how easily I had accepted feeling bad as normal. Day 28: 2 days left. I sat in my car outside a drive-thru, staring at the menu. Nothing sounded good anymore. Not even the grilled chicken or the sad little side salads. My body didn't want it. Craved a home-cooked meal. Something simple and real. Steamed veggies. Roasted chicken. Fresh fruit. Actual food, not this packaged, preserved, sterilized version of nutrition. But I had made a promise to myself and to the few thousand followers who had started watching my journey online. Finish the 30 days. Tell the whole truth. No quitting early, so I ordered the plainest meal I could find, forced it down, and drove home. My stomach churned uncomfortably the whole way. Day 30. The final day. No fireworks, no sense of triumph. Just quiet relief and a vow. Never again had I spent the evening sitting at my kitchen table with a pen and a notebook, writing out everything I had learned. Healthy fast food is still fast food. Marketing words like grilled, light, and fresh mean almost nothing. Ingredient lists tell the real story, and most are horrifyingly long. High sodium and hidden sugars are silent destroyers. Preservatives and additives can absolutely wreck your digestion, skin, mood, and heart health. Real food heals. Processed food deceives. I ended up crying a little as I wrote. Not just from the physical stress of the past month. From anger, from betrayal, from the realization that so many people just like me were trying their best and getting sick anyway. Not because they were lazy, not because they didn't care, but because the system was built to trick us. To keep us addicted, to make sure we stayed sick enough to need their solutions. Fast food chains, health food brands, pharmaceutical companies, all intertwined in the same ugly web. Profit over people. Always, that night, I cooked my first homemade meal in a month. Simple roasted vegetables, grilled salmon, and a bowl of strawberries. The flavors exploded in my mouth, not from added sugars or fake flavoring, but from real, living nutrients. I went to bed that night feeling full, but not heavy, satisfied, but not sick, hopeful, for the first time in weeks. The 30-day experiment was over, but my real journey, my real healing, was just beginning. When I first started the 30-day healthy fast food challenge, I thought I was proving something, that you could be busy and still be healthy. That fast food, if chosen carefully, could fit into a wellness lifestyle. That marketing wasn't lying to me. But by the end, I knew better. And not just intellectually, I felt it in my bones, my blood, my heart. The morning after the experiment ended, I woke up and just sat quietly at the edge of my bed, letting myself feel. I noticed the absence of the heart palpitations, the absence of the bloating, the itching, the brain fog, and the quiet, stubborn presence of a new feeling. Anger. Anger at how easy it had been for me to fall into this trap. Anger at how normal it was to accept slow sickness as part of life. Anger at the companies that had turned food, something sacred and vital, into a science experiment for profit. I picked up my phone and opened a note I had started on day 1. It was supposed to be filled with cute anecdotes about how easy it was to eat healthy anywhere. Instead, I added a new title, What I Wish I Had Known Before I Ate Healthy Fast Food for 30 Days. And I started writing 1. Your body is smarter than marketing. You might believe the ads, but your body always knows the truth. Listen to it if you feel heavy, tired, itchy, bloated, anxious. That's not getting older. That's a warning sign. Point 2. Labels lie. Ingredients don't. Forget the front of the package. Always flip it over. Always read the list. If it sounds like something made in a lab instead of a farm, your body will know the difference. Point 3. Healthy fast food is still designed for profit, not nourishment. They might throw a kale leaf on it, but it's still engineered to taste addictive, survive shipping, and make you come back for more. It's not about your health, it's about their bottom line. Point 4. Healing starts with real food, not functional beverages, not protein bites, not wellness wraps. Actual food, whole, simple, unprocessed, is what your body has been waiting for all along. Point 5. You are not broken. The system is. If you're tired, sick, anxious, bloated, it's not a personal failing, it's the result of living in a world that profits from keeping you unwell. You deserve better. Looking back, I realized the experiment had given me something I hadn't even known I needed. Freedom. Freedom from the constant noise of marketing. Freedom from the cycle of trying and failing, always blaming myself for why being healthy felt so impossible. It wasn't me. It never was. It was the system. And now that I could see it clearly, I would never go back. Instead, I started making small changes. Shopping at farmers markets when I could. Cooking at home, even if it was just simple stir fries or baked potatoes. Filling my plate with color, not from artificial dyes, but from real, vibrant foods. The healing was slow. It took weeks for my digestion to fully reset, for my skin to clear, for my energy to return. But it did return. Stronger and more real than it had been in years. If you're watching this and you're struggling, please hear me. You are not alone. You are not crazy, and you are not lazy. You have been sold a lie, but you can break free from it. One real meal at a time, one real choice at a time. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start listening to the one voice that has never lied to you. Your body that's been trying to tell you the truth all along. Maybe today is the day you finally start listening. Kashmiriel wore Jenna's skin like an ill-fitting suit. Her limbs elongated, joints snapping and reforming into spider-leg appendages. Lila's face hung from its chest, mouth sagging open to release a guttural roar that shattered storefront windows. The townsfolk knelt in the streets, chanting as their eyes liquefied into black ichor. Bring them home. Sophie gripped the coven's spell, her voice steady for the first time. Its body is beneath the courthouse. We have to burn it. We ran as the earth split, asphalt crumbling into pits where skeletal hands clawed upward. Marco dragged a gasoline can from the diner's storage closet. For the biggest fucking bonfire, he panted. The courthouse basement was now a living throat, walls undulating, the altar pulsating like a heart. Sophie knelt beside the names carved into the floor, tracing her finger over Hargrove. The coven spell, it doesn't just require a sacrifice. It needs someone from the bloodline to willingly trade their soul. Jenna's one of them, but she's not in control anymore. So it has to be you, I realized. You're a Hargrove too? She shook her head, tears spilling. Lila was. Her mom had an affair with Jenna's dad. That's why the demon fixated on her. And why she swallowed. I'm the only one left it wants. My love for her, it's the key. Marco poured gasoline over the altar. No. We'll torch this place and run. It's not enough. Sophie shouted. Kashmiriel's tied to the coven's blood. If I don't sever the tether, it'll just find another host. Maybe you, Casey? Or your brother. The ground quaked. Above us, the ceiling cracked open, revealing Kashmiriel's monstrous form blotting out the sun. Jenna's voice boomed. You can't silence the SCA. Sophie pressed the spell into my hands. When I start reading, light the gas. And don't look back. Sophie. She kissed my cheek, her tears hot. Tell the world the truth. Even if it hurts. The ritual words were Aramaic again, but Sophie's voice gave them weight. The gasoline ignited, blue flames racing up the altar. Kashmiriel screamed, its tentacles thrashing as the fire spread to its true body, a colossal, mummified corpse fused to the courthouse's foundations. You think love saves you? It roared, Lila's face peeling away to reveal a void filled with screaming mouths. Love is the first lie. Sophie's skin cracked, glowing like molten iron. Maybe, she whispered. But I'd rather die for a lie than live for your truth. She plunged her hands into the altar's fire. The flames surged, swallowing Kashmiriel's corpse and Sophie in a pillar of light. The demon's howl shook the earth, then silence. Marco and I emerged to a town in ruins, but a human ruin. The sky was clear. The townsfolk lay unconscious, alive but empty-eyed. Jenna was gone, save for a lock of her hair tangled in my hand. We never found Sophie's body. Tears and Truth has 10 million subscribers now. The footage from the SD card went viral, though most think it's a hoax. My brother woke up. He doesn't remember the coma, just a dream about a nice girl with a journal telling him to forgive me. I still visit Moon Hollow Beach. Sometimes, when the tide retreats, I see two shadows in the waves, one freckled and laughing, the other holding her hand. But last night, my brother sleepwalked to my desk, scrawling a single word in black ink, Kashmiriel. When I checked the date, I realized it's exactly 5 years since the first ritual, and the moon is turning red again. The shadows are patient. Stay vigilant, hit subscribe to Tears and Truth. The next chapter is already writing itself.